If you're looking to start drop servicing but simply don't know where to start, this tutorial is exactly for you. In this tutorial, I'm gonna give you a 5-step process how you can easily start your own drop servicing business. Starting with first, what is drop servicing and how does it work? And also, what is the business model? How do you actually make money with drop servicing? So, first of all, if you go on this website called Fiverr.com and type in something like web design, let's open a few of these listings. Our goal with drop servicing is reselling these gigs. So for example, this guy can make you a website for $600. Our goal is to actually resell that website at much higher price. And for example, this guy can make you a one-page website for $125, so much cheaper, but this is a one-page WordPress website. And have a look at this one. Again, one-page website, $150. So as you can see, price variation is very great. And what we're trying to do, essentially, we're trying to resell this at a much higher cost. Okay, so for example, if this is $150, we want to resell it at least 5 times more at $750. And if we do that, we're going to make at least $600. But here's the thing, guys. Fiverr is not just the only place. We can also find other gigs on here, which is a website called peopleperhour.com. Okay, on here, you can type in something like, for example, logo design. We go on here and we can find a lot of different listings of people offering logo design. And also can go to upwork.com, which exactly has the same thing. So you can type in web design and you can find a lot of different listings regarding web design. So guys, as I just told you, we essentially are reselling someone else's gigs and we want to put a markup on top. So as I showed you in this example, if we're reselling this website at $750, we can make up to $600 of clear profit. Okay, so you get the business model. Step 2, now that we discussed what drop servicing actually is, next is niche research and niche selection. As you can see, if you actually hover over graphics and design, there is logo design, branding, we have business cards, landing page designs, app designs, web designs, flyers, brochures, posters. The list just goes on and on and on. And this is just the first category. Let's look at the second one. So we have business websites, e-commerce websites, again, landing pages. Now let's look into digital marketing. We have SEO, local SEO, e-commerce SEO, video SEO, for example, for YouTubers, social media marketing, paid social media, essentially Google ads, Facebook ads. Video animation is the next category, which is super, super huge. So we've got video editing, logo animation, UGC videos, music videos. We have writing and translations. Okay, so essentially copywriting. You can do proofreading and editing, book editing, case studies, translations, website content, script writing, creative writing, podcast writing. Also, there's a new category on Fiverr right now, which is AI services. You want to be taking a particular look at this category because it's actually fairly new. There is a lot of interesting stuff. Okay, DALL-E artist, Midjourney artist. This is really cool stuff. I actually want to open Midjourney artist and show you how this stuff actually looks. So what you can essentially do is you can find a client looking for videos like that, looking for photos like that, and then you can, of course, resell it at a much, much higher cost. Have a look at this. All of this is generated with AI. This is absolutely crazy. And you don't know how to actually do this. Look, this is messy on there. Of course, this is really made with AI. And how can you actually make these pictures? You don't need to know a thing about how these people make these Midjourney pictures. All you need to know that you can go on here and actually get this service delivered. Then you need to find a client that you charge a lot more than $20, and this is how you're gonna make the money. So as you can see, there is a bunch of niches on Fiverr.com. The same kind of niches exist on People Per Hour, Freelancer.com, Upwork.com, and similar kind of websites. Research all of these niches at your own pace, okay? And those that really stand out to you, open up the listings, check out the pricing, really understand, can you make profit on it? Because some of the niches have much higher profit margins, other niches have higher volume potential. Okay, next, once you choose a drop servicing niche that you're actually interested in, the next step is choosing your suppliers. Okay, so I'm going to tell you how to choose a supplier for any niche, what to look for, let's jump on my computer and talk about it. Okay, so I typed in video editing. You can type in any other keyword that you want. It doesn't really matter. The process of selecting suppliers is almost exactly the same. So I'm just opening some different listings and I'm going to show you how to really assess those Fiverr sellers or any sellers on any other platform. Most of these platforms like Fiverr, People Per Hour, Upwork actually work in a very similar way. So on Fiverr, you can see orders in a queue. This is super important. It shows that currently 2 clients, actual paid clients, are ordering from this person. This is showing how many feedbacks it has. This is how many stars. 5-star ratings, 35 feedbacks. Actually, 35 feedbacks isn't that high. Always, I want to see at least 100 feedbacks. But it doesn't mean that this is a bad seller. Sometimes the feedbacks are low because the category is not very popular, or, for example, with AI services, the categories are so new that the sellers simply haven't been able to actually get these reviews yet. Okay, but for example, in video editing, you would frequently see people having at least 100 reviews. Also, what is super important is checking the country. Why the country is important? Because you want to find people not from the US, not from the UK, not from Australia. This is where you want to sell, resell, flip, drop service, however you want to call it. But for suppliers, we want to find countries like Philippines, Indonesia, India. We want to find countries that are much lower in cost. Okay, if we do that, we're gonna have the juicy arbitrage that we're looking for. Okay, we don't want to be selling from US supplier to US client. We're gonna be selling from Indian supplier to US client. Then we're gonna be accumulating huge juicy margin. Okay, now let's look at this one. I will do professional video editing and post-production. 5-star reviews, all 5 stars, 1,390 reviews, free orders in the queue. That's not too bad. We're seeing the seller is from India, which is great. Average response time is 1 hour. Last delivery is 1 day ago. Member has been online for a long time, having this account for a long time. Everything is looking very good. Let's look at this sample. Okay, this looks good. Okay, super clean. So he is essentially showing the capabilities of what he is able to do. And then, of course, this section is the most important because here we're seeing the prices. Okay, depending on this price, you'll find out how much profit you can make, how much you can resell it at, etc., etc. As you can see, for example, this seller is selling 50 bucks, 100 bucks, 140 bucks. And depending on the price, you can see these parameters are changing. So, as you can see, for example, in the basic version, he's not actually including sound design and mixing. Okay, in here, he doesn't include motion graphics and subtitles. And in here, he includes everything: subtitles, motion graphics, sound, color grading, and up to 10 minutes running time for 140 bucks. I'm not saying this is a good price, but this is what you should be looking in for a supplier. And also on here, guys, you can see how many people have actually saved this gig. This is another quality filter. If you see a lot of saves, this seller is probably a good one. And also here you can see the delivery time, how quickly this seller is actually delivering. Unlimited revisions is super important as well, guys. This essentially means that if you encounter an issue, for example, you send these files, this final video to your client, and then the client wants something to be changed, this is essentially a revision. You would get those files from your client, send it back to this guy on Fiverr and ask to make the changes. Once it sends it back, it counts as one revision. So for example, this seller is actually offering unlimited revisions, which is great. Other sellers sometimes are saying 1, 2, or 3 revisions or more. Unlimited revisions is ultimately, of course, the best thing, guys. Okay, now that we discussed how to find suppliers and how to choose them, the next step is how to do outreach and find clients. Let's jump on my computer and talk about it. So here's the thing, guys. What essentially you want to do is you want to use Google as your starting point if you're a complete beginner. So you want to type in, for example, law firm Miami, or it can be anything else, your niche and your location. This is a good starting point. So if I type in law firm Miami, just as an example, right? I can find a lot of different law firms in Miami that could be my potential clients. So here's what I would do, guys. I would actually open their websites, okay? And I need to find potential contact information. So I've got their phone number very quickly. If you want to do some cold calls, you can do that. One of the ways to actually find clients is to do phone calls. So you jump on a call and you offer your service, But the easier option is to actually send them a message or an email asking to actually schedule a phone call or a video call. But can you actually do drop servicing without calls? Yes, guys, this is a very common question. A lot of people are asking me, I'm not very comfortable on the phone. I'm not very comfortable on Zoom, Google Meets, wherever. Can I actually do drop servicing without any calls? Yes, guys, this is definitely possible. I found loads of different clients throughout the last few years just by emails and messages. Okay, guys. So for example, if we actually look at this company, right, I need to find the email address. Okay, so for example, let's go to this guy, key contacts. Okay, hopefully we can get his email. As you can see, George Diaz Silveira. Okay, this is his email, and I can then offer something to him. Okay, and this is his phone number. I can call him up and just be like, look, I'm offering this and this service. Also, guys, another potential way for you to find clients is to identify their LinkedIn. So, for example, this company has a LinkedIn profile. We want to go to LinkedIn, really check out their company. And when you go to LinkedIn, you need to actually browse their employees. How do you do that? Okay, so you click on this one, 7121 employees. So this is a huge company. I really don't recommend actually, going after such huge companies. But here's the thing, guys, as you can see, a lot of people are in all kinds of different countries, right? What you can do, guys, is I was essentially looking for people in Miami area. So what I can do is I can, filter and type in Miami, for example, okay? Miami, Florida, show results, and this should bring some results. So this guy's name was George Diaz. Let's see if we can actually find him on here. Currently, I cannot see his name, but let's just scroll down further. George Diaz Silveira. That's the same guy. That's awesome. Guys, this took me literally a second. I can click connect, okay, and I can add a note. For example, hi, George, I've seen your profile on your website. I'm interested in chatting about this. Or, are you currently taking clients? This is a very common question. Of course, he's going to say yes, and he's, of course, going to accept your invitation. And once he accepts your invitation, then you can send him a message saying that, I'm offering this service, I'm offering that service. Again, guys, this is super important. This niche can be anything. It can be, for example, real estate firm Miami. Okay, so I've got one on there and I've got another one on there. Once we actually open these websites, you need to think carefully and very, very critically. Do you want to spend a lot of time on this website or not? And here is how you would do it as quickly as possible. You want to go down as quickly as possible, and you see the social media, and usually there is the email on there, and there is LinkedIn on there. So you want to go to the contact us page as quickly as possible. You don't actually want to read anything. Here, there is a contact form, so you can actually contact them that way as well, guys. But they also have Instagram where you can actually message. So you click message and you can send them a message, guys. Again, guys, they also have LinkedIn. You can, identify their employees. You can send messages. Of course, guys, you need to find the people on LinkedIn who are relevant to what you're offering. So for example, if you want to offer video editing for home tours for this real estate agency, what you essentially want to do is you want to find companies, not just companies that are into real estate. You want to find companies that are real estate agencies that have realtors, real estate agents, and then you actually want to find real estate agents on LinkedIn and then, add them to friends and offer this service to them. So you want to offer it to the right person because, in a real estate agency, there could be accountants, there could be administrators, whatever. They're really very far from the service that you're offering. And you want to tailor it, and you want to find the person who's actually sort of interested in what you've got to offer. Ideal clients for you as drop servicer is companies from 1 employee to maybe 500 employees. That's it. Beyond 500 employees is kind of like large companies. You really don't want to be going after large companies because it's just going to be super difficult to close deals, guys. Okay, just follow my advice. Do as I tell you, guys. Small and medium-sized companies. And outreach, guys. What is outreach? Outreach, essentially, there's no magic behind it. Outreach essentially means that you're actually creating some kind of an offer. For example, I'm going to show you one of my offers right now. So, for example, I was sending these messages. This was around 2 months ago. So basically, this is some kind of a real estate agent. Yeah, and hey, Raphael, as a real estate video editor, I can help you elevate your NYC house tours with captivating short form videos. Interested? Let's chat. Here's my work examples. This is one of my offers that I've actually sent a couple of months ago. All you need to do, guys, is start sending emails, start sending Instagram messages, start sending DMs on LinkedIn, and you sooner or later are going to start getting clients, guys. We just briefly discussed the outreach and finding clients for drop servicing, but if you're still interested in learning more about this topic, you can find a lot of videos on my channel focusing on how to find drop servicing clients. I even have a 3-hour complete course completely for free on my channel, which has over 10K views already. It's a must watch. And finally, how much money do you actually need to start drop servicing? And also, how much money can you actually make as a side hustle and also a full-time business? Let's jump on my computer and talk about it right now. So guys, as I told you, for most services, you want to be reselling it at least 5 times more. So for example, if you resell a service at $500, multiply it by 5, you have $2,500 of revenue. Okay, this is not your profit. This is just revenue, right? So in order to work out your profit, you must subtract the $500 minus $500, and you have $2,000 of profit. Another important point, guys, on these small services like that, for example, $25, you can usually go 5 or 10 times higher. Okay, so for example, you might be able to resell this service at $125. Depending on the video quality, this could be possible to resell. Okay, but guys, if you go to more expensive services, let's just say we're looking at, let's say 3D design niche. Okay, in some niches, the prices are much, much higher. Okay, so I'm gonna show you an example. Let's look at this one. $460. Okay, so I will design 3D sneakers and shoes. This is absolutely interesting, guys. Okay, one order in the queue. In this case, guys, if you're reselling this 5 times more, it's $2,300. But if you're reselling this at 10 times more, it's $4,600. Okay, so you would make a huge profit, but it's becoming harder and harder to resell this because this amount is huge. So what I'm saying, guys, is when your price is very high on here, sometimes you need to be a little bit more conservative. So you want to maybe resell it at 2 times, okay? Or maybe you want to resell it at 3 times, not 5 or 10 times, okay? When can you actually sell at 10 times? Niches like logo design. Logo design can be done super cheaply on Fiverr. I've seen plenty of sellers doing it at 10 or $20. So this is super easy, guys. If you get a supplier $10, multiply it by 10 times. Okay, so 1,000% margin, and it is only $100. For example, this one is $10. Okay, so essentially you can resell this gig 10 times higher, guys. This is crazy, right? But of course, you're not going to make as much cash as you would make with those shoes that I was just talking about. Okay, but here you're reselling at much, much lower margin, but overall you're making, of course, more cash. But with these kind of offers, guys, it takes a lot more time to find a client than it is to find a logo client, because this is, of course, costing a lot more for your clients. So guys, this is especially important for you to understand these ratios. Now, how much money do you actually need to start drop servicing business model? Guys, again, it really depends on which niche you're starting from. If you're starting with this niche, what you need to do, guys, is if you find a client, I always suggest, guys, that you actually take a deposit. Okay, so let's just say we're gonna be reselling this at 3 times the cost, so it's gonna be $1,380. Okay, now if we're reselling it at that price, our profit is going to be $920. This looks really great, right? But we're not getting this money up front. We're not getting this $1,300 up front. This is not happening, guys. Realistically, in the best case scenario, we're getting 30%, which is just $414. So here, if we're actually getting this money and we want to buy from here, we already have a shortfall of nearly $50, because here you're going to have fees. It's going to be around $50 shortfall that you simply do not have. Okay, and here from your client, you cannot really ask for more than 30%. Well, you can ask for like 50% deposit, but a lot of clients will just not agree. So what I usually suggest, guys, is this deposit should be equal to this. Okay, this is like the best case scenario. Or, for example, this deposit is higher than this. This is the best case scenario, but in this example, it is different, guys. Okay, because the margin is lower, then our deposit is also not even covering this. So this is why you may need some cash initially when you're starting drop servicing to cover the shortfall, because you have to pay here. You know, if you continue and actually order this gig, if once you find the client, even if you get this cash, you still have a shortfall. That's why you need to have a little bit of buffer. Also, you might need to have a buffer for, email marketing software and stuff like that. Maybe you want to run ads a little bit, little things like that. Another important point, guys, even if you get the deposit from your client, if you're using PayPal or, for example, Stripe or a similar kind of payment processing company, sometimes this cash doesn't actually arrive to your bank account until 5 or 7 days later. But if you don't want to delay this project and you want to buy, then you actually have to have this cash in your wallet. You know that this money is settling in your bank account very soon, but you may want to just trigger, start that order. That's why, guys, if you're starting with these more expensive niches, you might actually need to have a couple of hundred, maybe 300, 400, 500 bucks. If you're starting with smaller niches like video editing, logo design, and stuff like that, this problem is going to be much, much smaller, because, of course, guys, if you're ordering a logo, all you need is just $10. Okay, you don't even need to worry that much about the deposit that you're getting from your client, because here you can just buy it at $10. And finally, as a ballpark figure, how much money can you actually make with drop servicing? I've trained loads of people. I've seen loads of people going into drop servicing business model, and a lot of them actually have succeeded. Okay, and this is the ballpark figures that I usually see. Complete beginner, $0 to $500 if you're doing it part-time is realistic after 2-3 months. If you're actually doing this, more than part-time, maybe doing 20 hours per week, you can actually do this almost like a part-time position, part-time job, of course, working for yourself. You can make up to $1,000 per month. This is realistic. Honestly, guys, this is realistic. Now, if you want to go from 1K to 5K, ideally, you're actually treating this as a full-time business, And yes, you can have a full-time job, but then hopefully you're working additional 30 or 40 hours per week on your drop servicing business in order to make 1 to 5K per month. And if you actually want to go from 5K to 10K and beyond, you guys for sure need to just focus on this business. You cannot have a job or whatever. It's not going to be a side hustle. It's going to be your main business. And is it possible to make 5 to 10K or more with drop servicing? 100%, guys. I've seen plenty of people do that. Honestly, even one of the guys in my mentoring group has actually got 3K worth of orders in his second month. Okay, as a complete beginner, just going through my training. So it is definitely possible, guys. Numbers is super important in drop servicing. Guys, you have to understand this last section because this is super important. How much money you need to actually take from your client, how much the service is costing, how much you can actually put as your margin, how much you can actually make, how much you need to put in, etc., etc. All of these numbers, guys, are super important. Take notes and learn this stuff. So, guys, if you still have questions about drop servicing, if you still don't understand something, I actually have a one-on-one mentoring program. I currently work with a lot of people all over the world, from US, India, Malaysia, and all kinds of different countries. If you want to be the next person in my mentoring group, learning from me personally, one on one, every single week, join my mentoring program by emailing me here, and we can talk about it. I'm going to ask you about your goals, how much you're looking to make with this business model, and also about your experiences, and hopefully I can invite you to be on my program, guys. So thanks for watching this video. Drop a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to see you in the next video.